Hello and welcome to another Financial Tidbit Tuesday with Tony, brought to you by Altra Federal Credit Union. This is our final video in our credit series, which will focus on improving credit and repairing your credit standing. If you haven't already, check out our previous tidbits on all things credit. As we discussed in prior videos, credit is important for many things, like lower loan rates, getting a car or a home loan, lower insurance rates, renting, even employment. So it's important to keep it in a good place. But if it could use some improvement, we'll discuss ways to repair and get it back on track. I will say more often than not, there are no quick fixes when it comes to raising a credit score and credit standing. It's going to take on-time payments, reducing reliance on credit, and the passage of time. An important step is to examine your credit reports and make sure there aren't any errors on them. Request all three of your credit reports from Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion at annualcreditreport.com. Like we mentioned in a previous video, according to the Federal Trade Commission, about 1 in 5 reports has some sort of error or mistake on them. All three of the major credit bureaus do not receive all of the same credit information the same way. So it's important to take a look at each one carefully. Again, getting your own credit report is free and counts as a soft inquiry and does not hurt your credit score. When looking at your credit reports, make sure all the information is in fact yours. Look for accounts that have been reported more than once, which could make it appear that you have more open lines of credit or higher debt than you actually do. If you're divorced, make sure that your former spouse's debts that shouldn't be on there are not reflected on your report. Likewise, make sure that older bad debts that should have been removed from a credit report actually have been. Credit reporting companies should remove them from your report after 7 years. And finally, mysterious accounts and bad debts could be the work of identity thieves who have gotten a hold of your personal information. If you find an error or a mistake, there's a few things you could do on your own to correct it. You could send a letter to the credit bureau to dispute the inaccurate information. All three of the credit bureaus have an online dispute form to make it easy to contact them. Expect to hear back from the credit bureau in 30 to 45 days after submitting your dispute. It's also recommended to dispute the inaccurate information with the creditor or agency listed on the credit report. If negative information on the report is accurate, there's no way to remove it from a credit report. Only continuing to make on-time payments and the passage of time is what's going to mitigate the negative effects of this information. And finally, there's an option of adding a brief statement of at most 100 words to a credit report, which could explain the circumstances on how the credit history got to where it is. Increased reliance on credit could be the result of some sort of hardship or something happening unexpectedly. This statement won't do anything to improve your credit score, but it could help those looking at the report to understand the situation and circumstances. Everything I mentioned, anyone can do on their own for free, but some may choose to get help if they don't want to do the credit repair on their own. For those looking for agencies to help them with their credit, stick to credit counseling agencies that are reputable and certified. Also look for those that are nonprofit. Respected counseling services will take the time to meet with prospective clients before taking out a case and won't charge high fees. Be wary of companies promising to raise your credit score significantly overnight, or those that charge exorbitant fees. Like with everything else we've talked about in this series, take your time and do your research. A qualified credit agency can also work with creditors and come up with a debt management plan in cases of extreme need to get out of debt. If you're ever having troubles paying your bills in full and on time, contact your creditors. More often than not, they're willing to work with you. To get less than ideal credit back on track, one option is to get a cosigner for a credit card or a loan. Asking someone with good credit to cosign a loan or credit card may increase the chance of being approved. We can also obtain a secured credit card in which money is deposited at a financial institution to back up the card. Make sure the issuer is reporting the payment information on the credit card to the credit bureaus, but after a period of time of consistent on-time payments, you can graduate up to an unsecured card and your initial deposit is returned. More ways to improve your credit is to pay down credit cards and to keep balances less than 30% of their limit. Also, while paying down credit cards, reduce the reliance on them and pay for goods and services using cash or money from a checking account. We may have to make some lifestyle changes and re-examine our budget to make sure it's working for us and will reduce our debt and credit card balances. A missed payment can be on a credit report for up to 7 years. Bankruptcies can be on a report for up to 10 years from the filing date, so it's important to continue to make on-time payments. Don't open any new credit accounts unless you absolutely, positively need it. Keep old credit cards with a zero balance open if you're able. This will help lengthen the average age of accounts and reduce credit utilization. But if more credit is going to tempt you to spend more, you're better off just closing the card. Since 10% of a credit score is the mix of credit, we can also consider moving revolving, aka credit card debt, to an installment loan, like a consolidation loan or a line of credit. Installment debt is looked upon more favorably in regards to a credit score compared to revolving debt, and it may reduce the interest rate. There may be a fee to move revolving unsecured debt into a loan, so again, do your homework. Only do this if we're not going to run balances back up on credit cards or other credit accounts. Know that there are resources available to you, and Altra has a team that works with our members who may be struggling and are in need of some advice. For members that may not be near an Altra location or have credit with other financials, we have Green Path Financial Wellness Services, which can work one-on-one with our members to help. Altra also offers Bonsai Coach, which can assist with a budget and a customized plan to get your credit back on track. You're definitely not alone in this journey, and like I said, Altra is here to help. For more information and resources on credit and credit counseling, go to our website at altra.org and select Online Learning from the Digital tab at the top of the screen. Thank you so much for taking the time to learn more on how to get the credit you deserve, and have a great day.